how to play against very popular London system. Because white wants just to put bishop to f4 following knight f3, e3, c3, and they will do this to all black moves. So what to choose? Which way is the best for black? I will show you in this video how to play against London system, surprise your opponent with a rare line, and get the good position from the very beginning. My name is Pavel Martinov and welcome you to my YouTube channel, and let's start. D4, knight f6, knight f3, we are playing g6. And right here, white has two possibilities, to place the bishop to g5 or to f4. If they're playing bishop to g5, we're going bishop g7. We want to protect this knight, just not to take by the pawn on f6. Knight e2, and here we can castle. And if white are playing here e3 or c3, we are going to the quite similar positions like with bishop f4. The main idea of white is to play e4, to take the center under control. And black here can continue with d6, preparing c5, here, and c5. Right here, the main continuation is to take on c5, because other way I will take on d4. For example, like after bishop e2, I can take on d4, and after takes, we can see that this knight and this pawn are not that good, just because this knight needs to be on c3. And this knight is quite out of the game, and black will use it to make the counterplay, and even white needs to maybe somewhere play knight b1, waste a tempo to place him to c3, and this position seems to be really good for black. So the main line is to take on c5 to avoid this, just to make this knight good, because this pawn structure is good for white, and the knight on d2 with these pawns are really good. And after takes, here, knight c6, here, queen c7, we're going out somewhere from the pin if we will take the e-pawn to the game, and so on. Here, h6, bishop h4, and we can just play knight h5. And here we have a plan to push the knight to f4 to make some pressure to white pieces. And actually we can somewhere play bishop g4, takes on f3, and place our pawn like on one pawn on e6, and the second pawn will go to g5 to support the knight on f4. And yes, white has a pair of bishops, but the position is quite close, and the knight on f4 will be really powerful. And the other idea, we can place the bishop just here, like for example after knight h5, we can place the bishop on d7 and play the rook to d8 to bring our rook to the open d file to the game. And after, always we need to push the knight to f4, so it's like our main strategy, the main point for this knight. And we will continue maybe with actually g5 to connect this knight. Maybe somewhere we will push our queen to c8, and we will have bishop and queen on the one diagonal also to do something. So like two ideas for black. Just the one again is to go bishop g4 and take on f3, and the second one is to play bishop d7 and place the rook to d8. It's a complicated game, and both sides has chances, so you can play this with black, and you know the plans, you know what to do, and that is the most important thing about this position. So let's return to the more common bishop f4. After g6, bishop f4 is more common way. We're going bishop g7, e3, so d6, h3. Right now, it's important move because we need to save this bishop. Yes, and somewhere against knight h5, we will go with bishop to h2 to save this bishop, just avoid the exchange. For example, after bishop e2, we can just jump to h5, and this bishop feels not that good. So after bishop g5 here, somewhere we can even go with g5, forcing this bishop goes to g3 and take him with the knight, and here the pawn is not that good. So we can see that black has chances here, a good counterplay. So h3 is a normal move. Because we already played d6 and we cut the possibility to bishop to go to e5. Just for example, if we will return back, if I will play here knight h5, white can play bishop e5, and this feels uncomfortable for black because they don't want to exchange this powerful bishop. So d6, h3, because right now we wanted to play knight h5, castle, here c5. So it's a normal move. We want to have some situation in the center, c3, takes, and here white always going with e takes d4, just because after c takes, we want to push the knight to c3 and white will have a good position. So the best way is to play queen b6 immediately, getting the target to the pawn, and after queen c1 trying to rescue this pawn. Here we are starting the active plan, bishop f5, and we actually wants to push the rook to c8, and this queen starts to feel uncomfortable. So knight c3, rook c8, here queen f5, we're getting some pressure to the c3 with our pieces. Here g5 and knight d7, and we can see that this is position may be even better for black because they have powerful bishop. So the pair of powerful bishops, this bishop right now is doing nothing, so just wasting his energy to look on d6, and white can't push somewhere c pawn to open the space for this bishop, and we have a c line under control. Seems that this position is really good, and actually queen on d5 feels really comfortable. No one can create a treatment to this queen, and we're looking even to a2 pawn somewhere in some occasions. So we're avoiding rook c1. This is getting trouble for white. We have a c2 square, probably to bishop or to the rook to double our rooks. So this position is really nice for black. So returning to this position, white needs to play e takes d4. It's like a normal move. Knight c6, knight e2. So if white will push d5, we can even jump to e5, and after some exchanges on e5, we will take back a pawn because the d pawn will be under control of our two pieces. So, and after knight e2, we have an interesting idea of knights going to d5. And our idea is to follow with e5 and rook e8 and start to some active play with this e pawn. Somewhere we can push even to e4 and e3. And we are doing some uncomfortable situation for white in the center. I will show you one example from my practical game. In my practical game, I played with black. The order of the moves was quite the same, but we will see the difference. That white played castle, and they didn't push the knight yet to d2, so it's a bit different. But the idea for black is quite the same. Here, h3 takes, knight d5, bishop h2, and e5 here. So actually, right now it's like a key moment. My opponent took on the e5, and probably it's a mistake. Better was to play rook e1. Here, black just can play rook e8, so they're saving the possibility of e4 or somewhere some other moves like knight f4 to jump here. So this position is quite complicated, and actually it's good for black to play. For example, after knight goes to d2, a really logical move to develop the piece. e4 is really very uncomfortable for white because it's hard to do something with this knight, and by the way black can create e3 with a double treatment to f2 pawn and to this knight. The best move may be bishop c4, and black just can play knight f6, and we can see that this position, because of this powerful pawn, is really nice for black. Actually, after rook e1, black can push e4 immediately with the idea of e3. But actually, this position, I believe, may be better for white because they will back the king to g1, and they will just develop this knight to d2, and they have a pair of nice pawns here that are cutting this bishop out of the game. And it's maybe a bit hard to with the counterplay. Computer suggests some move like bishop h6 to take the e3 square under control and place this bishop to the diagonal to play. Of course, it's quite playable variation and playable position. We will go with bishop e6 next and we will try to do some counterplay, but we don't need to forget that d6 pawn can be somewhere weak. So I think that the best way is to, after rook e1, just place the rook to e8, and this position needs to be really good for black. So my opponent returning to the game took on e5, I took on e5, knight d2, rook e8. Knight f4 actually was also possible, so this position can be playable. Yes, we can see that the double pawns are here, but the pair of bishops is for black, so it seems that they have enough for this destroyed pawn structure. So I played rook e8. My idea was just to push e4 and following e3 to open the king position and the center to my pieces. He played knight e4. The idea is to stop my pawn, bishop f5, knight c5, trying to make some target on b7 pawn. And here after knight f4, takes, exchange. We can see that this bishop is under treatment, so it's impossible to take on b7 right now. My opponent played here, b6, avoiding the knight b7, here, takes, here, and in this position, I think that this position is really a bit better for black because we have a really strong, powerful bishops here, and it's even harder to play this for white than for black. So this way, I won the game actually, and the final point and the most important point that I got the really nice position after the opening with my idea of knight c6 following knight d5 and e5 actually. You can use this idea in your own games to beat your opponents that likes to play London system and some other variations that are trying to avoid King's Indian defense. I hope that you like this video and you will subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my social networks. It was nice to have this excursion for the London system with you. Have a nice day and good luck in chess.